Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to SiteOne here right outside downtown Atlanta. I'm here with Gary Sorenson.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. I've been shopping at SiteOne for a while, but I haven't got to see the back end kind of distribution center. So where exactly are we at right now?
So we're in Atlanta, what we call our Agronomic Sales Center. So this is a store really primarily dedicated to maintenance type products, which is your grass seed, fertilizer, control products, mainly catered towards golf course superintendents and large volume and other golf lawn care customers. So that's the primary function of this facility.
Okay. How'd you get connected to the green industry, Gary?
So I started with Lesco back in 1988. Went down to Naples, Florida, was down there for about 4 or 5 years, running a Lesco truck and then doing some outside sales. And then I transitioned into a national account role with Lesco, primarily on the Eastern Seaboard, which got us up into the Charlotte, North Carolina market. Had an opportunity to start a business. I did. Ran my own business for 12 years. It was a lawn and garden center. We sold fertilizer and chemicals and all that kind of stuff and equipment. And, had an opportunity to sell that business, which I did. So went to work for a small distributor here in Atlanta. And about 2015, started talking with the folks at SiteOne. At that time, it was the tail end of the John Deere landscapes.
Okay.
Before it moved into SiteOne. And this was one of the things that they wanted to do because John Deere Landscapes had made an acquisition, which is one of the things that we do. We make acquisitions, great companies that are out there. We're looking to add them to our team. We made an investment in a company in the Carolinas called Green Resource.
Okay.
Very, very good, top-notch company. We made that investment. We wanted to try to replicate what they do here.
Okay.
So that's what we did, and this was one of my first things that I did was help develop this facility.
Wow.
But Doug Black and the leadership team at SiteOne said, you know what? We've got an iconic brand. We've got a brand that is recognized throughout the industry. So let's put some effort behind it. So what we've done over the last 3 to 4 years is we're really now starting to put a lot of focus on the Lesco brand. And more importantly, we've got a great brand, but how do we take new technology and bring that into the marketplace, technologies that have never been seen before? So that's the real exciting thing about it, is to be able to take an iconic brand like Lesco and then take new technologies and merge them together, take it to the marketplace, and hopefully, change the marketplace.
Yeah, so guys are just here in Lesco, SiteOne. You used to work at Lesco. Mm-hmm. How did they connect?
So that's a great question. So back in about 2007, Lesco was being a publicly traded company. John Deere Landscapes had just bought McGinnis Farms and some other folks, and they were starting to build that portfolio. And what they did was they looked at Lesco being the largest provider of maintenance in the United States. I think we called on 98 of the top 100 golf courses.
Wow.
We had, 500 service centers throughout the United States. We had golf course sales on trucks. So we kind of had the market as related to the maintenance business. And John Deere looked at that and said, hey, there's an opportunity for us to really get entrenched into the maintenance business across the United States. So in 2007, I believe that was the date, John Deere invested and purchased out Lesco.
Okay.
And then obviously it became John Deere Landscapes.
Got it.
The Lesco brand never went away.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. So
and then
so
to
Lesco,
really make things interesting, you worked for Lesco way before all this even
Yes.
happened. All right, I'm connected on the dots here. It's like a history class. 2001,
Wow.
2007, 2015. I'm tracking.
And the challenge is that I was there through it all, right? Since '88. So
yeah.
So it's been a great journey, and for me and for a lot of the associates that lived and breathed Lesco back in the day, we're super excited to be able to take this brand and put new gas behind the engine, so to speak, right? To let her rip down the road and bring out new innovative products. So we're very, very excited about that.
Cool. Well, you make my segues easy, Gary. So with the Lesco, I know on the other side of the bag, I saw a 24011, I believe.
Yeah.
So high nitrogen product here. Tell us exactly what this Lesco NAS is.
So we'll talk about this one first. NAS,
NAS
stands for Nitrogen Optimization System. This is a new technology that we introduced about 2 years ago, and the without going down the deep road of fertilizer in general, what you have in the marketplace is straight urea, right? Then you have polymer-coated ureas, right? And then you also have what's called a stabilized urea, where you'll put a coating of stabilizing agent on it. And what it does is it basically makes the product not leach. Excuse me, I did that backwards. Volatilize and then leach, right? So leaching is going through the profile, volatilization is going back up in the atmosphere. So what this product is a combination of urea and a stabilizing agent, okay? Now, typically in the market, you take your urea prill and you spray out the outside of it with the stabilizing agent, saying, listen, I don't want you to release, right? I want you to kind of be stable right there. So when we do that, we can get about 1,500 parts per million of that stabilizing agent on the outside of the prill. Well, what NAS is doing is smarter people than me figured out how to melt the urea down and take it out of a prill and make it a liquid.
Oh, wow.
And then take that stabilizing agent and inject it into that liquid.
Yeah.
Think of it like now I'm starting to bake a cake.
Yeah.
So then I put a little colorant in there. I want to be able to see it. So instead of it being white, I make it orange.
Yeah.
And then I regranulate it. So now what happens is this product here, I go from having a urea prill sparged around 1,500 parts per million to 10,000 parts per million, and I have a cake. I have a totally homogeneous prill. So what ends up happening now is when I throw that out into the environment, my cost per day significantly goes down because it's going to green significantly longer.
Wow.
Right? So the whole idea is how can I take a fertilizer and make it more efficient?
Yeah.
And that product there is our first step at making some really, really unique products, right?
Okay. And this is obviously granular. Is there a liquid version or
Great
similar?
question. Great question. So we have, the beautiful thing about that particular product is we have it in granular, 24-211s, 32-57s, 16-4-8s, whatever. But we also have it in a 46-00, and it's a urea prill, but it's obviously NAS, but it melts down when you put it in water.
Yeah.
So a lot of our lawn care operators and golf course superintendents are spraying that on large acreage because they're getting that nice dark green color, and it's lasting them for 6 to 8 weeks, depending upon their rates, right?
Yeah.
And they're able to do that. So you can do it either way, whatever's best for you and whatever fits your business model.
Yeah. Now, I live here in Atlanta, so I'm familiar with, Zoysia and Bermuda, our warm season turf. And this is the distribution center for the Atlanta market. Is this nationwide, or is this only for the South? Or
nationwide. Obviously, we'll have regional different blends for different
cool
agronomic
season
parts.
grass. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty cool. And then what else? We're here, and you got rows and rows and columns of fertilizer. What else is going on?
We've got lots of things in here.
This is awesome.
Let me tell you about what we did. Was we had this product to start with.
Okay.
Great product.
Yeah.
And then we made it better.
Okay.
So remember when we started having this conversation, I said there's a couple different ways you can have your urea, you can have your polymer coated urea, and then you can have a stabilized. So we turned the world upside down with stabilizing NAS. Then we took it a step further and we put a polymer coating on it. So now it's a true slow release nitrogen, and now I can get maybe 10, 12, 14 weeks out of it, depending on the blend, right?
Yeah.
So the whole idea there is now as labor's tough, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll get into that in a moment.
But the whole idea here is how do I then reduce my labor, increase my quality and my longevity so that I can make more money? Because that's really what we're all in business to do. I don't think anybody that's in business today wakes up to say, I want to try to figure out a way to lose money.
Yeah, well, you mentioned kind of the elephant in the room, the hot button topic going on right now, not just in our industry, but kind of nationwide, and it is the labor crisis. Now, I've been doing this for over 10 years, so it's hard to get a guy to dig a hole and to mow grass and to put the worst here in Atlanta is pine straw. It's tough work to actually be the ones providing this service. That was the story for a while because if you can go work in the air conditioning and get paid the same as working in the elements and the heat here in Georgia, and just it's tough work. So we've always had the issue in this industry specifically, but now things are really getting squirrely with so many other variables. So what are you noticing about the labor crisis, and what's the solution?
Well, so the solution, boy, there's a $1 million question, right? So at SiteOne, we're striving every single day to try to figure out what is the answer to that question, because we don't hear it just from you. As a matter of fact, one of my sales guys called me this morning as I was on my way into Atlanta to meet with you. And he said, hey, can you meet with me tomorrow and meet a customer for lunch? And I said, yeah. And he goes, and we were talking a little bit about it. And he says he could hire 14 people right now if he could do it. 14 people.
Wow.
Okay. I know another landscaper down in the Peachtree City, Newton area, and I talked to him about 3 weeks ago. He said, if I could hire 60 people, I'd hire 60 people right now, right?
Yeah.
So obviously labor is a challenge. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to think of different ways to do things, right? We believe that some of these technologies can help. But the key is that we have to train our customers a little bit differently, right? Maybe if I'm a lawn care operator and I'm putting out fertilizer maybe 6 or 7 times a year, or maybe however my schedule is.
Some of these guys do ADAPs down here.
Absolutely, right? So now it's hey, Mr. Customer, guess what? My costs are going up, labor is short. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move you from product A to a better quality product that's going to last longer. You're probably not going to see me as often, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a better product because I don't have to come back, and I'm going to use a higher quality product. Mm-hmm. Now that some customers are going to say yes, some customers are going to say no. It's tough, right? Moisture Manager is a product that we have that's great for this time of year because it'll help reduce watering by 50%. So now if you go into a customer and you start talking to them and, we're having a hot, dry summer, right? I mean, yesterday was the 3rd day in a row out in the Pacific Northwest. It was over 100 degrees.
Yeah,
I mean, it's burning up out there, right? So if I go to a customer and say, listen, if I could show you a way to save 50% of your water bill because they're putting their irrigation on all day long, right? 50%, you know what? I'd be interested in that because my bill was just $400. Great. Half of that's $200. For $100, I can do this, right? So how do we add on services and products when we're at the customer? Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, how do we structure the conversation, not to lowering our price, but maybe to say, I'm going to give you a different type of product, and I'm going to cut back in coming to see you, but the quality is still going to be there, the greening is still going to be there, and I'm going to guarantee that for you, right? So a lot of times in our business, we make applications, and sometimes whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, we choose cost over what is it going to do for me long term. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of lawn care customers out there that have a business model predicated around making stops. I'm going to come and see you X amount of times a year, and you're only going to pay me when I get there, and that's the only time I get paid. And there's nothing wrong with that model. But all I'm saying is, if the customer, and I'll make up numbers, right, to your point, 8 times a year, and let's just say it's $100 a time, mm-hmm. that customer is used to spending $800 a year. Well, if you go back to the customer now and say, listen, I'm going to kind of change some things around. I'm going to still give you the great quality that you're getting, but I'm only going to do it 6 times, but I'm going to keep charging you $800. Mm-hmm. You know what? You might have a couple say no.
Right.
But the labor savings, the fuel savings, and all of it, when you take a look at the business of the business model, right?
Yeah.
You may actually be making more money, right? And then you can just start to run the numbers on an Excel spreadsheet to say, listen, if I do this and do that, and I understand my costs, how many customers can I lose? We don't ever want to lose customers.
Right.
Right? Now, maybe sometimes we want to fire customers, right?
Yeah, if they're a PETA, pain in the butt.
Pain in the butt. But the whole thing here is we as an industry have to really start thinking differently as to how do we take the labor that we have and utilize it the best we can. And sometimes buying products that may be a little bit less expensive aren't the answer. maybe it's worth investing more in a product that's going to give me a longer-term investment than 4 to 5 weeks. Maybe it's going to give me 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and as somebody who's been at this for a while, that's one of the biggest complaints I get is, Paul, why is my grass not green, right? They're watching, in April, they're watching the Masters. I
Right.
live in Georgia. Why is my grass not green? Yeah, I was like, wait till May until at least transition, you know? Like, this isn't Augusta National. We're not.
Right.
Anyway, I'm constantly, and then, you know, it does get hot and it gets dry, and they want me to cut it low, and it's just like, that's one of the most popular things is I want green grass.
Right.
And here in Georgia, we cut it. I like to use reel mowers and cut it really low. So, and you know, Gary, we're getting hit on every side. I just got an email from QuickBooks this week, the online accounting software I use. $10 a month, the price is going up for my account. I mean, I'm stuck with them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
And then we got an email from a hardscape supplier that's 8%. All materials, 8%, just like that. And it's like we're just getting punched left, right, and we can only increase our price. I mean, there's a point where you can't just increase it
Right.
too much, or you're going to lose a lot of customers. So we got to get crafty with how we're going to stay profitable.
Right. And that's where I think as we come into the back end of this year, you know, SiteOne has lots of opportunity. We have irrigation. We have low voltage lighting. Obviously, we have maintenance, right?
Yeah.
We have a full breadth. As a matter of fact, right now, I'll kind of tease the audience here and don't want anybody running out. We are actually testing in about 20 locations throughout the United States autonomous lawnmowers, right? We've got a couple different brands in, and we're trying them. We think that robot lawnmowers could be the next thing, right? As we talk about labor. You know, hopefully today is June 29th, 2021. So we're testing it in 20 stores. So, you know, we've got over 600 stores between the United States and Canada. So don't think that every store is going to have that ability. But the point I'm trying to make is we're always looking, what's that next labor saving thing?
Yeah.
And if it's a robot lawnmower and it works, beautiful. Now, how do we incorporate that into a business model? That's the second thing. Because, you know, it's not a $200 purchase, right? They're a couple $1,000s, and if you have 50 customers, well, so we're trying to figure all that out. So lots of things that we've got going on to help owners figure out, how do I change my business model, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking about, I'm going to have fewer labor. I need to raise my prices, right? You know, it's not like you and I can go over to one of the big box stores right now and say, hey, that piece of plywood that you're going to charge me $80 for, I bought it here last year for $32. Can you sell it to me for $32? No way. Hit the road, pal.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I think educating customers, one of the things that we're trying to do is and quite honestly, Paul, we got some price increases coming up here in the next couple of weeks that are not going to be pleasant. I'm just being honest.
I think another thing that you pointed on is there's so many add-ons, enhancements that we can do. You got landscape lighting here,
Yep.
of course, the fertilization and weed control, and there's just so much ways we could actually increase revenue by maybe adding a service that we're not already doing.
Absolutely.
If you're just mowing grass, I mean, you got to do something else to bring in the revenue, because I don't think this problem is just going to go away. It's probably here to stay, so we're going to have to figure it out.
Right. And those are the types of things that we're continuously looking for, right? So we're kind of that full service supply company.
Yeah.
So if you're ding a head and you need to replace a PGP, we've got them, right? If you want to get into the low voltage lighting business, we can train you how to get into the low voltage lighting business, right? We can go out and do night demos with you. We can do whatever it is to bring that comfort level, so that, you know, this is the way I look at it. If a customer entrusts me to come on their property and mow their yard, that's a great responsibility. Now, here's the other thing. I wonder what else they would allow me to do if I just asked the question.
Yeah, and they don't want to have to pay 5 different invoices. That's what I found, is they want to pay one person to take care of the property, one person to do the fertilization and weed control, one person to turn on their irrigation and off and set the module for the year and fix I can't tell you how many errors people make in Atlanta. They don't turn it off in the winter, and then we get 18 degrees and pipes get busted. So there's so much that goes into taking care of these properties. They just want to pay one person.
Right.
And so another thing is cash flow. If someone wants to be a SiteOne customer, this stuff, the bill can add up to buy all this stuff. Is there
Absolutely.
payment plans? Do you work with your customers? How does that all work?
So obviously, one of the first things that we have is an open charge account for those people that qualify to have a charge account. The second thing would be then, depending upon what season we're going into, so right now we'll have the grass seed and fertilizer season is really right around the corner in early September, right?
Yeah.
So we have opportunities there where if you make a purchase with us, we can give you delayed terms.
Okay.
Maybe 30, 60, 90. We've got different terms available as it relates to the equipment business. Because we sell the Z sprays and the Permagreens and the Lesco branded. We've got a lot of new Lesco branded equipment, aerators and things like that. We've partnered with Sheffield. So if you've got a Sheffield account, we can take care of that through Sheffield. So lots of different opportunities to help cash flow the business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything else you want to add? Tell us about SiteOne Online.
So the other really, really exciting thing that we've got going on at SiteOne is SiteOne.com. Just like it sounds, right? But the really unique thing about it is that we're reinventing that thing, and we're adding great new features to it. You can pay your bill online. Obviously, you can order online, right? So how convenient is it if you're in the irrigation business or in the maintenance business, and next Tuesday I need 3 of these, 8 of these, 6 of these, 12 of them, and it's 7 o'clock at night. You're watching reruns of I Love Lucy. I need 7 of these, 8 of these, 12 of these. Hit the button, and I'm going to pick it up next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning, you walk in, the order's sitting there. It's already been put on your account. Out the door you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe we could just deliver it right to the job site. Either or, right?
Yeah.
But you had the opportunity to do that. So not only can you manage your whole account online, you can manage your business online, right?
Yeah.
And especially those customers that, if I'm in the low voltage lighting business or the irrigation lighting business, I kind of have my menu. I can take that shopping list and I can save it, and I can just hit that button and say, order that again, instead of going, I need 4 PGPs, not a truckload like we just heard.
Yeah.
So SiteOne.com is a absolutely fantastic opportunity for our customers to be more streamlined in their business, right?
Yeah.
We want to take away business hours.
Yeah.
Guys standing at counters costs money,
Yeah.
right? So SiteOne.com, order it the night before, have it delivered to the job site, or have your guys swing in, orders picked up, out the door they go. They're not having to stand in line for 15, 20 minutes waiting for the next person to be able to help them. So I would very, very much encourage everyone to check out SiteOne.com.
Yeah, efficiency is everything. Well, I really appreciate SiteOne sponsoring our summer tour here at the Green Industry Podcast. We're actually hitting the road to interview lawn care landscape professionals across Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and we're just grateful for SiteOne making this possible. So thank you for partnering with us.
No, thank you. We're proud to support the industry any way we possibly can.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you, Gary.